right, welcome back to Cricket for Americans. Nick here.
Gabe, the Night Watchman.
And we are here to check out another Patreon request. We love all of our patrons for the support, for the sacrifice, for helping these two goofballs try to figure out some more about cricket and about movies and whatnot. If you want to become a patron, look down below to see how that happens. But Turning Point, another Turning Point request. We want to hook this guy up because he hooks us up in our streams and on Patreon. And Gabe, what does Turning Point want us to check out today?
So Turning Point wants us to check out a video called The Spirit of Cricket. Now, in recent days, there's been a lot of conversation about the spirit of cricket. And there was the whole Smudge, Steve Smith incident where I guess he was like stepped over somebody's line in the crease or something like that. People are saying he does it all the time. Other people said not. You know, even think about man-catting, right? Is man-catting in the spirit of cricket, right? Of fair play, of the gentleman's game. I remember watching the what's the documentary that we did about the Australian
Crossing the
line, right? And you know, you had Rabada who made contact with Steve Smith because he was, too emotional and too excited, and that's not in the spirit of cricket. So, again, I'm assuming that's what this video is talking about. What's in the spirit of cricket? Nick, how do you feel about the general idea of the spirit of cricket, or in competition in general? The idea of fair play.
Fair play to me is extremely important. And it seems like it is lost on a lot of sports and a lot of athletes because there's so much pressure to win. There is so much pressure to win for coaches and for athletes that they, for some reason, and I'm not talking about anyone in specifically, I'm just talking about all sports and the different controversies we've had and whatnot, things have been proven. These athletes and these coaches feel like they have to resort to cheating or taking an advantage or this or that. And it drives me crazy because I am obsessed with fairness. It's my biggest downfall, in my opinion, as a parent and as a human being, because I expect things to be as fair as humanly possible. Okay.
Right.
And it's just not, we don't live in a fair world. And I have 3 kids. I'm not going to be fair to all of them, but I stress and I worry about fairness all the time. So for me in particular, if I'm playing this difficult sport against world-class athletes and you are cheating and you beat me, I'm just going to be disgustedly upset because I was wronged, not to mention whether it's a championship or something else. So for me, it's extremely important. And the thing I love about cricket is our understanding, our research, and our learning of the game since the beginning. For the most part, cricket has been taken as the gentleman's game, as a game that has laws that cannot be broken, and fairness is a huge part of that, to the point where umpires are revered, and usually here in U.S. sports, they are not. So I love that. And so when you have something against the spirit of cricket, it's kind of frustrating, even the newer fan. Now, as far as this video goes, and I can see where you're coming from because the name Spirit of Cricket says it right there. I think this video might be a little different. Let me read the description from this. This is from the Steve Waugh official channel, and hopefully he doesn't mind us reacting to it. Steve Waugh is, of course, our Australian captain. Turning Point, who had the request on this, he said he's his favorite captain in cricket. And he says specifically, best captain ever to play is what Turning Point says. And so on his channel, in the description for this video, it says, in January 2020, I traveled through India, visiting the ovals and maidans of Mumbai and the back streets of Kolkata, enjoying local roadside matches on the way. I discovered a game out in the desert, met a team of cricketing monks, played cricket with kids by a river, and was clean bowled on the beach at Jahu. I met Sachin and Dravid and the blind and physically challenged cricketers who totally inspired me. Along catching up with the youngest and older cricketers and the first girls cricket academy and much more. I have chosen 220 photographs from the thousands I captured with my trusty Canon camera. I proudly share and celebrate this collection in a limited edition 324-page large format book in a special presentation box. This book will be ready on his site. And so it looks like this might, I thought it was going to be a video. This might just be the collection of those photographs that he has taken as he explored India. So That's pretty cool. I mean, this guy is an Australian captain. This guy is a cricketing legend, and he loves the game so much, and he's retired that he's going to a nation like India and just trying to see all, not just cricket you see on TV, not just the international team, but cricket in its truest nature, its most innocent nature, with younger kids, with teenagers, with young adults, or with older men like ourselves that just love playing themselves some ball.
You know, again, and that's why when you come to our channel, when we talk about reactions, it's true reactions because we don't do any research on these videos. We don't watch them beforehand. We just throw them out there. Maybe it's a little different than what I thought. We were talking about the spirit of cricket, but even that, think about how we would correlate that to here in America, right? A backyard football game or a men's softball league or whatever, where, you know, if a nation has embraced a sport, right, and embraced a game, then it permeates like every level of our life. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? It's not just the pros that are playing, not just at school, but you know, even on family get-togethers and semi pro leagues and old men leagues where you and I belong. But you know what? Check out this video so that we can then go ahead and comment on it afterwards. Sound like a winner?
Absolutely. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. And let's check this out in 3, 2, 1.
I've always wanted to one day be able to get off a bus, just walk out in the streets and take the shots I've always wanted to take. Good balance on the heads, isn't it? Oh. Is that your name, Bishop?
Steve Waugh, I'm guilty.
Beautiful colours in. Capturing your attitude and mood is what photography is all about. In the past, I just saw a scene and thought, that's great, I'll take the photo. But now I can see, you know, what makes a great photo. There's got to be a few different elements to it. You've got the foreground, the middle, and the background. Trying to match those up, just seeing things in a different way. I don't know where to look. There's so many games going. I can't believe people don't get cleaned up. There's balls flying everywhere, but everyone seems to know what's going on.
From my personal point of view, I'll do anything for cricket. Like Steve Waugh is standing in front of me, I'll show him my every talent. That's what I had.
That's up. Very pure, the game over here. They love playing the game of cricket. It's just a bat and ball. They make their own stumps out of whatever they can find. But they've got the love of the game, and I've never been able to
I love it. The pose.
I like that little thing.
And that's where the idea comes from. Just get out there, get amongst it. What is the spirit of cricket? Why is cricket a religion in India? It gets in the mind, eh?
Oh, he got him.
How do you know if he's going to bowl it slow or quick? You don't.
Yes, I
You just listen.
listen.
Wow.
It's a tough game, blind cricket. I think it's probably 2 balls out of 20. Pretty dangerous. Yeah, the young boy, the 3-year-old prodigy, look, he's no doubt he's got incredible hand-eye coordination. He's definitely going to work on his temperament and concentration, but any 3-year-old after a couple of minutes is going to lose focus. Monks playing cricket, I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. And with the Himalayas as a backdrop, I was amazed by their skill level and their toughness. I mean, they were playing on basically a pitch that was up and down and undulating and terrible for batting. And they started playing with rock-hard cricket balls. I'm thinking, someone is going to get seriously hurt here. Like, if it was one of us, we'd be carried off by now.
Oh, my gosh.
They call it disabled cricket. That's the wrong name. I mean, they were enabled
That's
every way.
awesome.
It was almost like doing high jump or pole vault, and then they were bowling a ball. It was pure artistry and beauty the way they were bowling. Yeah, I loved interacting with the girl cricketers up at Dharamsala, the first women's cricket academy in India. Wanting knowledge, so thirsty to gain knowledge, and when people like that, you can't help but give back. And I really enjoyed going out in the middle, talking to the captains, getting in their head how they were thinking and trying to change their attitude a bit to be a bit more aggressive. When they haven't got much, that is the spirit of the game. The spirit of cricket is that quest to get better.
Yeah, that's
That ball factory to me was all about teamwork and knowing your job and your role, because everyone was it was a confined space. There was a lot of people, but whatever was in front of them, they did it to the best of their ability. Then they moved on to the next task, and to see them operate and to see the products they were producing was world class. I wanted to know what the spirit of cricket was all about in India. I think we found that in that factory. Who's your favourite players? Steve Waugh? Yes, good answer. Well done, mate. Gotta get cleaned up here. Cricket is a religion in India, and that's what I wanted to try and capture through the lens. And I think coming back, it's just reinforced it, because whilst you see IPL and guys making millions of dollars on the razzmatazz and the adulation and the love from the fans, but when you get down to ground level, nothing's really changed. And a lot of people have got very little material possessions or wealth, but when they get playing a game of cricket, everyone is equal. It doesn't matter who you are. Once you step out on the field, you're all equal, and you can achieve great things, and you can prove things to yourself. You can enjoy experiences with your friends. You can create memories together. So cricket to me is a great leveler, and the spirit of cricket is going out onto the streets or onto the parks and seeing kids just make up a game with a plastic bat and a ball and have the bricks for the stumps and just see how good they can be. That is the spirit of cricket.
wow. I usually like to talk a lot during reactions and react to it. I don't think I talked too much. I had a few chuckles here and there because that was just a beautiful thing. That was, again, you're taking away all the pomps and circumstance and all that kind of stuff, and you're just talking about it as a game and the effect it has here in India, or not here, but in this video specifically in India. It's a beautiful thing because you have so many people affected by a sport, by a game that someone invented. But this country has just taken it and just loved it. And then, I mean, they got crates, they got pieces of wood, they got all these different things for the stumps. They're playing with rocks everywhere, but they cleared out the pitch just because they love to play. That was a beautiful thing.
I gotta say, Steve Waugh got another purchase because I'm definitely gonna buy this book and just being able to capture those images and capture the essence of what cricket is, and especially in India, where it's like like you said, you got 1 billion people over there, and of course you got your superstars, but it's not just them that play and embrace the game. It's everyone. It's nationwide, man. And I think that you saw, I mean, to me, some of the most beautiful moments, man, when you saw like you said, disabled isn't even the correct word, you know what I mean? But you saw the disabled cricket and the blind cricket. My gosh, blind cricket, dude, that's just insane. And you think back to some of those things that we see here in the States, whether it's Special Olympics, and to me, some of the funnest games to watch, Nick, honestly, are before the kids become too big time. You know what I'm saying? Before, because once they're in high school, you already got scouts out there. You know what I mean? It becomes a lot more serious. You've got real talented kids. I mean, listen, at least here in America, if you go to high school and you're not already a bona fide player, you're done. When we were kids, and even before, you could get to high school, not know how to play, and they would teach you. And you know what I'm saying? You'd be able to get on there as long as you had the desire. It's not like that anymore here in the States. these kids are playing at a very early age. And once you get to high school at that point, it's almost like a breeding ground to find college players, if that makes sense. But, I had mentioned in a prior video, one of my favorite moments as a coach was Trey playing at 5 on my 9U team, ball getting hit to him, and watching the young kids play, even if they're running the wrong way, you know what I'm saying, on the baseball diamond or holding the bat the wrong way, and, watching the enjoyment of it at that level. And I think it's the purest form of the game, you know what I mean? Where you're still playing
Absolutely.
for fun, and you're not playing for a paycheck, or you're not playing for a scout, or you're not playing for a scholarship. You're playing for love of the game. You know what I'm saying, dude? And man, this was a great video. Turning point. Thank you so much for this video. And like I said, I'll definitely be looking to find this book on probably Amazon. They'll have it on there, because I just think it would be a great piece for our collection.
It's the craziest thing about, you talk about this pure sport of the game, is that you could have an amazing feat in a backyard game or a game on the beach or in the desert, and no one knows how amazingly you played because there's no cameras there. There's no this or that. And then you go into, the international game, what we just had in, what was it, day 4 with India and Australia. And someone like Siraj, who maybe, he was on the squad, right? But maybe wouldn't have been given this kind of platform in Australia this soon. And the guy goes out for a fiver. That shit is an unbelievable thing that he does. And by the time we're recording this, day 5 hasn't happened yet. But he gets a fiver against Australia, in Australia, against some serious bowlers, for the crying out loud. That's the beauty of cricket. And if you take Siraj's story back to wherever he's at, I don't know his story, but he was once one of these kids, just like all these other cricketers from all different nations. They were once a kid who was playing cricket. That 3-year-old kid, right, who the guy said, he's got to work on his temperament, but he's got amazing hand-eye coordination. I honestly hope for him that he's able to still have a regular childhood and then play cricket too, because nowadays it's so competitive. They're trying to find these kids as young as possible. Maybe not 3. I know there was some jest there, but trying to find these kids as young as possible and trying to find the next Virat Kohli or the next Steve Smith or whatever. And like you said, like once all of that and the scouts and the seriousness, then for a lot of these kids, I would imagine the fun kind of goes away. And it's like so stressful, and you're trying to meet demands and the pressure, and it's unbelievable. But this strips all that away. And I'm sure for a moment or two, Siraj, when he's busting out those 5 wickets, he probably felt like that kid once again, just playing with his friends. And now he's on the biggest stage, and he's able to show what he can do. It's a beautiful thing.
I'll tell you something about that 3-year-old. There was a ESPN like report or whatever. I don't know if you've noticed, but they've stopped giving kids scholarships until they get to high school. You remember how they used to be giving these young
12 years old, 13-year-olds, ridiculous.
And they showed the percentage of those kids that got signed and got those scholarships at an early age. By the time they got to high school, were burned out. Most of them didn't even make it to the college game because, like you said, the pressure instantly comes, and it stops being fun at that point, right? Now you're playing, specifically for the school, and you're controlling where you could play and who you could play for, and it becomes a job almost, you know what I mean? And, I've mentioned this about, my nephew, or Savannah's nephew, I should say, John, who played for the Tijuana Cholos, a couple of different pro soccer teams, and he was on the men's 12U team, 12, 13, 12 for USA Soccer, bro. Nick, these kids miss birthdays, these kids miss Christmases, they miss holidays, they miss all kinds of stuff, and it does stop being fun. And if I have one regret, it was because Trey was so talented at such an early age. Bro, Trey's childhood has predominantly revolved around 2 things: baseball and football, bottom line. And I questioned myself many times, and okay, Savannah's been that conscious in my ear, like, let him be a kid. And sometimes we just want him to be a kid because it has been pressure at a very, very early age. And it's tough. Like I said, it becomes a job, and that's when the fun goes out of it. You know what I'm saying? You still love performing or whatnot, but then you also see him give up a home run in a game, or him, give up a touchdown, right? He plays DB or drop a ball. And then I see this kid come home super stressed, bro, and tears in his eyes. And no kind of kid should have to deal with that pressure, until, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like it at such an early age, when they're still developing mentally, and they're still, in that adolescence. No kind of kid should have to deal with that mental pressure that comes along with it. So that was a great comment by you. And hopefully they don't ruin this kid. Hopefully in 10 years, they said, what, he's 3 now. So, or in 15 years, we'll see this guy, playing domestic cricket, and then eventually making a test team. And, oh, remember, Nick, we talked about this guy many years ago. That's the kid, whatever, and the prodigy, because you just never know. Maybe he's just that special. But, man, great video, turning point. Thank you. Truly thank you for this request. It brought us to start thinking about that nostalgia about, sports in general and what they mean to us in the society and as fans.
Yeah, the last thing I want to say, talking again about the 3-year-old conversation, let's say he goes as far and he gets on like a U19 squad or whatever, but then he's never able to go past that. With the expectation, if it's serious expectation at the age of 3, for him, he's going to feel like he's a failure. Like, my entire life, I was pushed and I was sacrificed to be this great cricketer, and I could only make it to the U19 squad, and I couldn't get any farther. When someone like myself, who does not have that experience, is like, dude, you made it that far? That's awesome. But when you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and a lot of pressure is put on yourself, then very few are able to make it to where Siraj is making it, right? So, I mean, that's the toughest thing for me. But again, I come from a family where we're not world-class athletes or even high school athletes. So it's a different mindset. But I love sports. So obviously I'm still rooting for kids to be pushed and kids to play those sports, because we want to be able to have sports, for the rest of our life and future generations. So it's an interesting topic. Let us know what you guys think about this video and about our conversation we had afterwards. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for checking us out. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.